Topic for our discussion today is multi-brand management, diversification strategy for service providers. Now, telco markets have experienced rapid and fundamental changes all around the world, and communication service providers are trying to come up with new strategies to answer these challenges. One of the recent buzzwords is diversification, which keeps coming up in discussions as a strategic direction. We're here with Sofiene Kamoun, VP Executive Innovation Advisor at Etiya, and we are talking about these trends and about how a software vendor can help service providers to cope with the challenges of this digital era. So, Sofiene, what does diversification mean, and why is it important for service providers?
Okay, thank you. Well, as you said, first of all, today, the telco market is really changing and becoming really more crowded with new disruptive players. And the market is getting really highly competitive, more complex, both from a technology side and from the customer requirement side. So the other thing which is really dominating today is that the customer needs are getting more and more stringent, more diversified, and the segments are more fragmented. And the service providers now have to deal with multiple niches that only need to, not only they need to be served well along their specific needs and customer experience, but also they become today, de facto, the only source for new growth and market share. You know, saturated market, you know, they have no choice. They have to go after those that they cannot serve well today. So that's one big factor. The other thing, on the other hand, is that now there are multiple emerging technologies that are bringing new market opportunities, and where the target market and offering can be really different from their core brand scope and capabilities. So the growth, there are growth opportunities, but go beyond their current scope. So this fast evolving and complex context is basically posing a serious challenge to the service providers, and it is forcing them to look at new ways of doing business, but most importantly with the proper supporting capabilities, because they are not equipped for that. So, and that's like the big picture. And diversification means basically creating new offerings along new business models that allow them to better serve each customer segment, capitalizing not only on new innovations, but also now, more importantly, being able to leverage while leveraging the ecosystem as such. So diversification is that. I mean, to me personally, if I may summarize it, diversification means in particular that the end of the traditional one-size-fits-all cash cow era for the service providers. That's over, okay? And there are multiple means to do diversification, and one of them is to launch new brands that are really fully optimized to cater the target segment's new needs and to maximize the opportunities of monetization around those needs and also within the ecosystem of those target segments. So, and that's what we call a multi-brand business strategy, basically.
Well, thank you. That's fascinating. Yeah, well, we're talking about new brands and operators launching new brands, but why should they do so, and how can this help drive growth?
So Mary, let's get more to some specifics in there. You know, if we look particularly at the mature and saturated markets, as I said earlier, they're kind of roughly covering the 80% of the market, and if they want to grow now, they need to, the key growth vector today for the CSPs is those niche markets. And in order to grow through that, they have to have really differentiating value propositions and offering that are fully tailored to that. They are fully tailored to the type of customers, to their mindset, to their lifestyle, to their specific profiles, etc. And this means that you need to have not only tailored offerings for that, but also superior customer experience that also are quickly evolving along the evolution of the customer need himself and the customer context. So at the root today, they need those sub-brands because they require a very tailored image, a tailored value proposition, a tailored brand that is different from their core brand. So basically, the bottom line is that if you want to grow, you have absolutely to go and tailor around, to those particular niche segments. So basically, there are two major drivers for multi-brand strategy today. First of all, the CSPs, they cannot afford to jeopardize or alter their core brand for positioning and pricing reasons. That's number one. I mean, regardless of the ability to serve those markets, they cannot afford to jeopardize their core brands. So that's one thing. And the second thing, as I mentioned earlier, and foremost, is that their legacy mode of operation, their business model, the technology platform that is serving the core brand is not suited to properly support these niche markets, nor to properly enable them to get to the required stringent level of adaptability, agility, etc., to enable, in particular, the ecosystem, both from a technology standpoint and from a business monetization opportunity standpoint. So two main strategic drivers that are telling them, okay, one, you should not do it because of the core brand, jeopardization. And second, you can not really do it with whatever you have, globally speaking, and not only from a technology standpoint. So these are the two key things. And now, it's kind of a do or die, in my opinion, as far as saying if you are in that now that where you are in a saturated market, etc., this is where you have to go, and this is the only way for you to grow.
Well, that sounds entirely logical, but perhaps you could expand a little on the challenges behind launching and managing multiple brands.
When we're talking about a new brand, it's new brand, new identity, new attributes, new criteria for satisfaction for the client. That's number one. And creating that and implementing the optimal technical and operational solution that is fully aligned to that brand is something which is complex by itself. I mean, this is the real challenge, is how can you fully align your capabilities, both technology and operational and business model and pricing model, etc., to that particular brand attributes. That alignment is the cornerstone, the biggest challenge. But that's number one. And now the fulfillment strategy becomes crucial. So how do I do it? Whether both in terms of technology foundations, should I go with the greenfield side by side? Should I go and say, hey, I'm a CSP, I'm gonna go and buy through acquisition of MVNOs, which I will tailor and integrate, etc. Or I will try as much as possible to use, to the extent I can use for some of the brands, my own legacy. It's a real puzzle in there. And clearly, there is something we're sure is that the proliferation of platform and dedicated organization, because we're talking about that we need to have a full alignment, including the operating model, etc., to the particular brand. The proliferation of platforms and organization to support a multi-brand strategy is clearly not viable. Okay, no, it doesn't work like that. from any standpoints, obviously, financially, operationally, technically, etc. So, you know, we really need, I mean, at the basis, an efficient way to manage these in a simple, cost-efficient way with a proper technology background. So at the basis, what the CSPs need is a common kind of baseline, starting with a technology platform that allows them to handle multiple brands at the same time. That platform needs to be optimized and rich at the core in terms of core capabilities, etc., like product, customer management, customer journeys, etc., but also enable them. That platform need to be able to enable the required level of tailoring of the key differentiating elements in terms of services, in terms of, you know, marketing, channel strategies, front-end customer experience, etc., loyalty specifics for each brand. So you have a baseline which needs to be the same, and then you need to have the capability to tailor, to well serve, and to adapt to the brand attributes in there. So, you know, and that is something which is clearly something that needs to be on the side rather than on the legacy environment, not trying to integrate all kinds of things because it's going to be a nightmare, but you really start with that foundation.
Well, thank you, Sofiene. Yes, and I think probably that leads on naturally to the question of how Etiya is able to help service providers in this process and how your software solution can address some of these challenges.
Basically, I mean, Etiya offers today a next generation BSS platform that requires that foundation. We started from a deep understanding of what that need is and how we can better serve this particular, you know, this customer, the CSP needs for that. And we build and we evolve our technology accordingly. So we have the required foundation, which is there with the required enablers for, you know, because at the end of the day, what do I need? I need a faster time to market and easier marketing, you know, and sales operation with the ability to have, you know, new offers quickly based on the customer insights, need to be able to reduce, you know, cost and resource savings, etc. But most importantly, because we talked earlier about growth, is that we need to have the platform enables, you know, RPU and revenue stimulation and through superior customer experience and a strong customer engagement with the brand, because at the end of the day, that's what will make the difference and bring the growth itself. So it is with that in mind that we have built this multi-brand capabilities. So it means that what we are providing as a platform is a mean not only to the mean to support in a common way the foundations in terms of business capabilities for the different brands, but also the ability to implement each brand attributes with personalized experience as such, and you know, with branded customer service interfaces and so on. So at the core, from a technical implementation standpoint, we heavily rely on TM4 on standardization and enabling assets. And what we're doing is that we are integrating and coordinating the systems and processes across the different brands. So that way, you know, you're avoiding this duplication, etc., and you're maximizing reuse of all these common assets on one hand. And in TMF terminology, there is a strategic enabler for that, which is that they have all these brands, they have the same service and resource specifications that are usually leading to, you know, a uniform process for provisioning and activation, etc. So by using the same service and resource and process specifications, you know, various single and bundled offers can be created to reflect the individual marketing strategy, etc. So And as a key result on that, there is no need of multiplicity of operational capabilities for each brand. So we're using that. So what does that mean practically when it comes to brand specifics? Let me give you a few examples so that you can better materialize that. So if, for example, if you take the product bundles and there is a common product catalog, within our digital business platform that integrates the key building blocks for the efforts. So the CSP can create the bundles that are tailored to the individual brands by using things from this, from the pool of common services, products, and resources. And then we tailor them to whatever we need. So that's, I mean, and when we're tailoring that, also something important is that while doing that, we can do it with, using brand-specific business rules and validations, etc. So that's something which remains fully tailored to each of the brands. Let's take another example or another level. Let's say we're talking about tailored service experience, for example. So, the operators, they can define for each brand, what are the most appropriate customer service channels, whether if you're in a discount, maybe you want to have purely online services, while in another brand, you still want to have physical stores as well. So we have the ability to customize and to personalize which channels are be used by each brand, which brand, etc. Customer journeys as well will be able to be tailored. Okay, so they are tailored to each brand, but using the core common primitives or services underlying that, because they will be the same. They're standardized, and at the end of the day, activation is inactivation is an activation, etc. So, of course, as an example, when it comes to visual experience, each brand will have its own brand-specific designs, their online service portals, in their online service portals and application, with all the characteristics of the branded identity, etc. So this is, what this platform, multi-brand platform brings. So if I may summarize, beyond the flexibility and the agility and scalability that it expected today from a cloud-native BSS, which we are, our solution basically enables the operators to manage, a diversified brand portfolio easily and cost-effectively, but also the key element from time to market standpoint is you can quickly and cost efficiently instantiate a new brand when it comes to time to instantiate a new brand with our zero or low cost implementation capabilities of the platform. So that's kind of in summary the attributes of our offering.
Well, thank you very much, Sofiene, for taking us through that, and thanks for a fascinating discussion on what's clearly a very important topic area. So thanks once again for your time.
Thank you very much, Julian. Thank you.